I welcome you all to the first session of this CABF 2025. So anything we will start with Tirukkural only. So this session also starts with Tirukkural. The first session there are books, there are two kinds of books, books for the hour and books for ever. So we will read some books and we'll get some pleasure out of that and throw it away. That's a book for the hour. That may be a novel or maybe a poem like that. But there are books that guiding light for our centuries. For example, Tirukkural is one of the book for the ever. More than 2000 years it is guiding the not only Tamils throughout the world. So Valluvar is a poet, philosopher, and we call Tirukkural as the universal gospel of wisdom. So to the present generation, we very well know that three parts of the Tirukkural. One deals with virtue or ethics. Second part is about wealth. Third part is about love. So I'll start with the third part. That will be more interesting. So I'll first question to Madam Meena Kandasamy. He has Desire of Love that published by Penguin Publication. She has taken the Tirukkural to the Gen Z or millennial generation as Tirukkural is treated by the younger generation. So, Madam, welcome to the session. Your book has taken the Tirukkural to the non-Tamils, particularly in European countries. As Penguin has published, there are reinterpretation, first feminist interpretation of Tirukkural by Kamath Pal. So you have given some modern interpretation, like one thing has created some controversy also. So there is no mentioning, there is formally we will classify to Karpiyal, Kalaviyal, Karpiyal, before marriage and after marriage. But you have interpreted as a poem of love, so all the 250, and there is no mentioning about the wife in the Tirukkural, in the Kamath Pal and all. So where Vallav mentions that in virtue, that is first book. The third book, there is no specific mentioning about the wife. It is addressed to a lover. It can be wife also, okay? But it created some controversy. I would like to start with that controversy.
Thank you for this opening question, and also thank you for including me in this panel. So this is very interesting on why I chose the Kamath Pal or the love poetry to, as an initial work, because when the first translation started coming in English, it was done by Jesuit priests, and they were like, kind of ashamed, embarrassed about the idea of, translating love poetry, because how would, love or erotic poetry become part of a classic? And then if you look at the history of the Tirukkural, the history of the translations, you just don't have women doing them. You have like the absence of women. And this is very stark, especially in the last section, the section on love, because the woman is there in, like of the 250, she's there in at least 200 as the speaker. And also when she appears as somebody who is terrifying, as somebody who strikes the fear of death, as somebody who is like a captivating goddess. So some women who is so powerful, and inside the book, how does she not exist outside the book? How does she not exist as a commentator? How does she not exist as an intellectual who writes about the book? How does she not exist as a philosopher of love? And how does she not exist as a translator? So for me, it was important to retrieve that woman from inside and give her a voice from the outside. Having said this, this is a very interesting thing that I'm sure the other panelists will also unpack, is that I was reading Francois Gros and his translation, and he says that even the ordering of the Tirukkural that we are used to today, even among the 250, he says that it was in no specific order. He goes to previous editions and he finds that each editor was giving a different order to them, and it was Parimal Alagar who in some way standardized what we come and receive. So even this intra distinction between what you call Kalaviyal and Karpiyal, or the first 7 that is called Kalaviyal, and then the chaste wedded love. I think the reason for me to do away with that in this book comes from the fact that comes from 2 things. The second is actually just something that how do we know how marriage looked like 2000 years ago? So we cannot put this framework of contemporary understanding of marriage into a text that is not of our time. And the first and more pressing issue was, how do you look for internal textual evidence? So there are 250 Kurals, and each Kural we can say, contains roughly 7 metrims. How often is the word wife referred to in these 250? How often is the word husband referred to? And it doesn't exist as something that addresses a wife. It addresses the women he loves. It addresses the man she loves. And this is really, really important that, we recognize them for who they are and that we do not constrict them within the institution of marriage. And obviously, I think, if scholarly men said that, it would be taken as a scholarly comment. But when a woman says that, and I said this obviously, also like Sir was saying, in the style of Gen Z, millennial, I said, Thiruvalluvar was writing all these beautiful love poems which express female desire, but maybe he was writing it for his side chick. And just the word side chick completely rattled people. But the thing is, and there was a heavy pushback, so I don't want to dwell on it because there are nicer things to talk about, but we still live in a society where it's so difficult to perform this. And now you understand, and then I actually understood, this is why women have not touched this book. Because when you touch a book like this and the people think that you're messing with it, I was not messing with it, then there is, a huge price to pay. So, thank you.
Nice, madam.